Everybody that's out here encouraging men or you young men to marry these women, many of them retired 304s or have rebranded themselves or have been raised to be feminists all their life, radical feminists, and support that type of ideology. You only have to ask them one question. If that marriage fails, if that situation fails, are you, are your church, are the people around you that encouraging me to go out here or encouraging the young men to go out here, are you going to pay the alimony? Are you going to help me fight for custody? Huh? Are you gonna basically offer any support that's going to help me? And then you get that silent crickets and say, well, we're just giving you advice. We're just gonna tell you what to do. We're gonna tell you what to do. See, I'm not a person that believes in canceling all hope. I tell brothers that if you find a 5% woman, go ahead and do what you gotta do. Do the mitigation, do the vetting, get yourself some legal contracts. If you're younger, maybe prenuptial agreements and whatever. Make sure she has a good, strong family and support system, and make sure you know what you're getting into. So it's just about informing young men, informing men. But see, they have a problem with men like me who tell men the truth. The truth is just not a popularity thing. They want guys like me to shut up. And in this era where you have so many men trying to mimic or become Kevin Samuels or fake budget, low budget Kevin Samuels, saying the same, regurgitating the same thing, the same failed talking points. You got Andrew Wilson, salute to Andrew with the ecclesiastic marriages. And they forget one thing, the other 50%, which is the women. What do women want? Women have agency, women have free choice, women have their own wants, wishes, and needs. And many of them has communicated that they don't want to be a traditional wife with traditional rules and standards. Not when they're young. Maybe an old one wants to be fake traditional, like what these transcons are pushing is men marry these retired 304s. When they have been to these colleges and getting ran through, or they just come to the church and say, I repent of my sins and Jesus has cleansed me and now I'm a marriage and wife material. And you guys, then there's the other ones. Oh, women are making money these days. They're making more money, and the men have to raise their level. They're making more money, and they're also out here enjoying freedom and sexual liberation. And there's like, well, what about the guys that are running through them? That's the guys they choose. They have free choice. And this is the problem with a system in society that tries to bash man across the head, but they don't have anything for women. Like the Scott Galloways of the world, anybody else. Women have choices. They choose who they sleep with, just like men have choices. They choose who they marry, and they choose whether they are out here simping. So I get into men all the time, and what I want to talk about really this. The elephant in the room is the laws. The laws. The laws are what matter. The laws are what matter. What is the changes in the laws? If you want to advocate for marriage, so why ain't you down there galvanizing a whole group of people and trying to change the laws? Because at the end of the day, when you see divorces happen, the women go for the money. They go for the kids. You gotta get to the point where you just take all advantages out of a person, when one person's incentivized to break up that marriage and go and take all the resources out of it. You take all the profits out of marriage through the legal system, and you see how much the divorce rate or marriage becomes at least even an option. But nobody wants to change because the laws are not going to be changed. Women vote, and they want the laws the way they are. They like the situations where the higher earning spouse, which is usually the man, is paying alimony. They like the ability to be able to take away men's kids and make false allegations to get them without consequences. How many women get arrested for making false reports, false domestic violence cases against men? Trust me, I used to work in law enforcement, so I know how the game is played. So in this gynocentric environment, especially now with social media and the way it is, and all of the negative factors that men have to deal with, you keep coming back to the men. Oh, well, the guy was doing this and was doing that and was doing this and was doing that. All these things would work out in his favor. But they never really analyzed that what exactly is this man getting at the end of the rainbow. What? A ran through 304? What? One of these women that you men, you ecclesiastic men, or you people who you low budget Kevin Samuels approve of? That's the type of women they're supposed to get. And the women that you see, some of these guys too, you see them, they're fighting with these women. The women on these panels, they're battling with these women. These women are calling them out. They're getting in their ass. These women, they can't even talk to these women without these women. All these guys, every last one of them. Salute to my brothers who try, like the guys like the Darwin McPherson, the new therapist guy out here. All these brothers, I give them credit. Andrew Wilson, everybody who's trying. But join the graveyard of hope, of all the dead bodies of those. Look at how they celebrated that man's death, Kevin Samuels. Look at that. Remember Ice Cube with his contract for America? And everybody in the black community was like, the people in the black community was calling him all kinds of Uncle Tom sellouts. And when he got on there with the cocktails with cream, they asked, what is in there for black women? These women have their own agency and own agendas. And they, look, I understand with many of these guys, the lure of the female money on YouTube is intoxicating. You see, if I get on here and I start pandering to women and selling them a bunch of bullshit, I can have a bunch of subscribers. I can make a lot of money on YouTube. Put on one of those Kevin Samuels suits. I have a bunch of them upstairs. I don't wear that shit. This is my gym clothes that I enjoy. And start talking out my ass. Hope, fantasy. Yeah, lie to women. Do the Yada thing. Do the Derek Jackson thing. Yeah, a whole bunch of women would be, but I would be sending them to their doom. I'd be sending them to their doom. You know why? Because they're not going to get the outcomes that they want. Because there's nothing about them that's going to change. Just because a woman has a nice job or has a nice career or whatever else, that doesn't make her a quality. That's not make her eligible for a wife. That makes her a responsible adult. The question is, what is in her head? Does she understand, male psychology? Is there a balance between, the yin and the yang with her energy, and she understand how to exist in an environment with a masculine leader? And the answer is, for most of these women, no. And that's why I say you're dealing with the 5% women now, especially with social media. Social media has taken delusion to a whole new standard. So it's not about getting outcome or sleeping with women. Sleeping with women is not an achievement. That's why I tell the young brothers until something changes with that law, or unless you're dealing with the 5% women, stay on that journey of self-development, self-improvement, because nobody's going to take care of you like you. None of these goofy dudes on the internet's going to pay your child support or pay your alimony or deal with you if you're in the marriage or you're getting tortured and roasted and your mental health and your psychology is deteriorated because you married some radical, left-leaning feminist woman with feminist ideology who support a certain mindset and mentality, who come from matriarchal culture especially. And they're taught not to respect men. And it's socially engineered that way. So you're getting your manhood cooked every day, or you're dealing with toxic and stress. And even with the black community, the black men have some low statistics about dropping dead early, married men. So there's no advantage for men being married in the black community because you're dropped dead earlier. Guys like me probably live longer because we're not dealing with the day-to-day stress of the constant attempts at emasculation. They don't want me to talk. They don't like guys like me to talk. What are they going to do? They're going to come shame me and say, what? You're not meeting the standard. I'm already retired. I'm retired at 46 years old, so I'm financially okay. What are you? I work out all the time. I'm in shape. What are you? They're going to start, and not that I don't give a rat's ass about the height thing. They're going to try, well, you guys probably want to be short guy. No, I'm 6'7", 6'8". When they try to find every defect in me, I answer, so what do you say? Well, I've been married before, almost a decade. Had 2 boys, raised them successfully, both educated, both doing well. So when they come with all these negatives at me, this is why they can't deal with guys like me. Because guys like me is not trying to grift. You see? I'm not trying to grift anybody or hustling. I'd rather delete this YouTube channel. My survival doesn't depend on YouTube. Than to come over here and tell a bunch of men and women a bunch of lies like these dudes are doing. selling hope, selling fantasy, selling dreams. There's a serious problem with the way the legal system is set up in terms of marriage, in terms of family law in this country. Until that's corrected, until the system is corrected, and you're getting in there with, you better look for the 5% limit and get a contract. Talk to guys like the lead attorney, get a legal prenup and contract signed before you even get into that situation for the young people. And then the other thing, last thing I would say, I'm tired of seeing these dudes arguing with these soon-to-be menopausal women on these platforms. And I'm gonna stop watching that shit. I shouldn't watch that. That's my fault. I should turn that shit off. Get out of my algorithm. But it's interesting to watch them talking to these old-ass hyenas, trying to convince them to be what they supposed to be in the first place, what they were raised to be women. And trying to convince, imagine, I told a brother yesterday, my salute to the brother who invited me to the male lion cannot tame these hyenas. You're lost your damn mind. But we still have this bullshit, this nonsense, this grifting for money because they want the women's money. That's all they're trying to do. Because you can't tell them women nothing. The moment you try to talk to them about them as being part of a problem and any solution, they're going to go full course crazy on you. Again, Kevin Samuels tried, failed. A lot of copycats came after the brother. The only thing he did really is help a lot of the men. To level up and do things. But again, on my channel, I talk about relationship capitalism. Those who compete will be chosen, and those who don't will be left behind. That's just the way it is. Let them shame you. Let them call you anything they want to call you, incel, call you whatever. My opinion on shame is if I can't borrow $10,000 from you today, your opinion don't matter to me. Period. And if you're not going to pay the money when I make a decision for the advice you give me, if you're not going to pay for the consequences of that, your opinion really matters very little in the world. You got to do, as a man, you got to be unapologetically masculine today. Make decisions for your life. Don't let anybody shame you into being something or doing something that doesn't benefit you. And we've seen the history. We've seen what's going on. We've seen what's going on with divorces. We've seen what's going on with marriage. And like I said, divorce is not the worst thing. You could be suffering in a marriage. There's sexless marriages. There's guys that are dealing with serious problems with infidelity and fighting and arguing and everything else in life. So that marriage is not this rose color. And some of the guys giving advice have been married 1 or 2 or 3 times. So they know better. It's just that it's very hard to resist the money to be made from female audience for some of these guys. They just want that money really bad. Or they want to get you on these coaching calls where they don't offer you anything of value. They line their pocket. They charge you X, Y, Z amount of money per hour to coach you and talk to you. I don't have any of that shit. I just tell you what I got to tell you right now. And that's really what it comes down to. They want that money, period. So they'll lie, they'll do whatever, they will pander, whatever, because they know people don't want to hear the truth. The truth is painful. But one thing about the truth, if you take it, you accept it, you absorb it, you take it, and then you become better. You adapt. You adapt to the environment, and you do what's necessary. That's what men do. We adapt, we overcome, we overpower, and we create our own reality based on what we have to work with. So at the end of the day, I'll say it the last time, nobody's going to take care of you like you. Let them shame all they want. You do what's best for you, man. Because I tell you one thing, these guys, when you go down, making bad decisions or listening to their advice, you won't be able to find none of them. Peace and blessings to you guys. Make sure you have a good day. Make sure, guys, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But we got too many bootleg Kevin Samuels out here. And what did the women do? They celebrated that man's death. Period. And they're still celebrating his death. It's just the truth. Anyhow, I'm out.